What's up? False. I want to talk about just for a few minutes laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God versus prophets. If people had a choice to latch on to one, which one do you think they would? The vast majority of the people would latch on to first. The prophets, I believe, they would. The prophets versus the one that talks about the laws, stat, the laws, commandments, statutes, the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High. You may find maybe two or three will latch on to the law, commandments of the Most High versus, but the other side with the prophets, the vast majority, probably 1,000 people will latch on to the prophets because most people follow in behind what a man, what a that just by the name prophet. You see what I'm saying? What is the difference in between? Why would people cater to? It's like most people want to hear smooth things, right? Like they'll tell you, like if you tell them, I met this man of God, and he was teaching me the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High God, that we should obey them, including the health laws, which is the moral law, all in one. The first thing people are going to do, they're going to look at you like you're stupid, and they're going to say, oh, I don't believe that. Or either they're going to say, well, everybody's entitled to their own belief or their own opinion. Everybody's going to be saved by their own belief. I've been hearing this all my life, but they quote things just to suit the feelings that they're in. Why is it that when it comes to the commandments and the order, no, not excuse me. Why is it that when it comes to the commandments and the laws of the Most High God versus the prophets, when it comes to the commandments and the laws of God, it's got to be, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's gonna be saved by their own belief. But when somebody come up and tell you that this man prophesied or he's a prophet, everybody gonna gravitate to that. Nobody ain't gonna take a second thought and be like, hey, you know what? We got to be careful because there is a such thing as false Christs and false prophets. You see what I'm saying? There is a such thing as false prophets. No, it ain't nobody is going to despise somebody walking up and saying that they're a prophet. No, because that's what most of the world used to gravitate to. If you just come up and just talk about keeping the commandments and the laws and the statutes of the keeping the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High God, most of the world and most of the people in the rest of the world will just argue with you. You're going to get an argument out of just that one simple thing when it comes to the statutes and the commandments of the Most High God. When you tell people that they should be doing that, you can read all throughout the Bible. You can see things about the laws and the statutes and the commandments of God. Most people are going to argue with you when it comes to those commandments. When it comes to that, you're going to get tons of people arguing with you. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So it's like, I don't like people like that, man. I really don't. That's the question is. And then they'll justify it by saying prophets is the next thing to the Most High God. A prophet is simply somebody that is a spokesperson for the Most High God. And he teaches the word. He don't go around and give his own interpretations. A real prophet is not going to give his own and put his own interpretations on something. That's what you have to watch out for too. So when you tell people that this man prophesied to me, nobody will say, well, he gave the wrong interpretation. Everybody just gonna believe and accept what he said. Say, sister, I see you getting a bunch of money tomorrow, or I see you getting a bunch of money in less than 30 days. See, most people want to hear that. Nobody ain't gonna correct it and say, no, dude, you know what? there is some false prophets out there. You got to be aware because the enemy works miracles too. Nobody ain't gonna argue that. But here's the only way you will know a person who is really, if it's really a person that is of God, and if he's of the Most High God, and he's really serious about his relationship with the Most High God and trying to lead you in the right direction. We all know that we have the Bible around, right? If his lifestyle is not close to living what that book says, anything in the book that he tells you, if he tells you something and you can't find it in the book or in the Bible, in the Torah, that's what the Torah means. The Torah means the law and the commandments of God. That's what it means. If you can't find what they do, if they lifestyle, if what they're doing is not backed up by the Torah or the law, that means that he's don't rely upon him. He is speaking a presumptuous matter. He is speaking his own words, and you don't want to follow. Let me tell you how. Let me say it again. The way you would know a real prophet is that he's not a real prophet. Is not going to give their own interpretations of that Bible. They're going to give their interpretation based upon what that Bible. It's got to match directly up with those commandments and what God said. If it don't match up with those commandments and what God specifically what God said, if he ain't following that specific role and he's not, his lifestyle is not the same as that Bible, that book you're following a false prophet, and you probably want to move far away from him as possible. If he say something out of line that ain't right and it ain't lining up, because remember, it said in 1 Peter, I think it says 1 Peter 3:15 or something like that. It says, no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. You know how people say, well, that's the way you interpret it. You know what I mean? Everybody have their own way that they interpret it. Okay, I get that. Everybody have a way that they interpret the Bible. Everybody has a way that they interpret things. Which means everybody has their own opinion, the way they summarize something. They have their way of way they see things. But you have to ask yourself this. There's only one right way. Different opinions, different interpretations, but it's one right way. You see what I'm saying? There is only one right way. Everybody basing what they say up on, well, this is how I see it. This is what I see it. The prophet said it should be this way. No, if it has to exactly match up with the way those commandments are. If it does not match up with how the Most High said it, then I don't care who they say they are. They are a false, fake prophet. They are a false, fake prophet. It doesn't really matter. It's either it's true or it's false, regardless of how good the interpretation is, regardless of whether that person used their own opinion. If that opinion or if that fact or if what they're saying, if it's not matching up with this, that would be just like me. I write a book and I put words in here that I won't follow. Like Ahaz of Judah soon met a tragic end. Okay, now let's say if I wrote that, which I didn't. If I wrote that and I put it there, and everybody want to come up with their own ideas and their own thoughts and give what they think. Opinion means what you think. It's not a fact. Your own interpretation is based upon an opinion. It's not based, your opinion in different interpretations is not a fact. Everybody just give their different, what they think of it. But you have to ask yourself, if it's not matching up with those numbers, that's just like if you go out and you win a lottery, that number has got to match up with the way they wrote it out. If it's not matching up with the number, the way they wrote it out, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to win. You're not going to win anything. You're not going to win no money. You're not going to win that, right? If you scratch off some numbers, and those numbers is what it is, and you go and scratch off some more numbers, and if they don't match up with the first numbers that you scratched off, you lost the game. You out the game. You ain't gonna win. It's simple as that. So everybody can give their own interpretation of what numbers are. Everybody can. But if it's not backed up in the Bible, if it's not the original, if it's not what it said, everything that we teach and everything that a person teach and preach when it comes to the Bible if it don't match up with what the Most High wrote down with his own fingers, if it doesn't match up with that book that the Most High had, if it does not match, I don't care if it's 2019, if people write a Bible and they put other different interpretations in there, if it don't match up with the original, it's false. You ain't nothing you can do. It's still false. So I'm gonna see y'all later, and we'll talk later. I'll come back and we'll talk more about the interpretation. Peace and love to my people of color. Death and destruction to the so-called American, so-called white man.